Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 2.64% to 44,020. Ethereum up 2.72% to 3113. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset. Axie Infinity is doing really well, up nearly 21%. My goal is to help you to succeed one trade at a time by combining the strengths of investing and trading, to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, just one sec, you see this PNT, please do not go near it, it's way too overextended. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being part of our globally extended family, I appreciate you being here. If we look through the market at the moment, we can see Sol doing quite well, Algo doing well, Doge doing well. Axie Infinity is probably the standout. Uni, FTT, Quant, Engine, Aave, not looking too bad. As a crypto technical analyst, it's also good to keep in mind what's going green and what's going red. For example, Luna, Rune, Cello, Ape, Leo, of course Ape is quite new, HNT, XRD, LRC, HT, and we noticed that LRC had some really quite good trades in it, but sharp angles reflect, and we know that as crypto technical analysts, so we take profit on the way up. I have a lot of links in the description of this video, such as the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, also the taxation software that I use, as well as a link to reach out to me, and you can directly contact me on Twitter. This particular section of this video has been inspired by a CTKS ambassador, Edwin, a very, very beautiful person. Edwin said, most people think money is the ultimate wealth. Real wealth is an abundance of positive excellence. Being able to be who you truly are, to make an impact on someone's life, and the ability to make a change that adds positive value into your life, and of course into the lives of others. That's really beautiful, Edwin. And I love this. There are people so poor that the only thing they have is money. Because the market is so green, a lot of people are really happy. And the thing to actually think about when we talk about real wealth, just as Edwin actually went through, we're talking about maintaining a positive excellence life trend. Money is part of the things that we focus on, but look at all the other things that we focus on. We just don't focus on money to the exclusion of having a good life. From time to time, people have reached out to me and said, Ken, what integrity, decency, what do these things mean? Because I always talk about coming from a position of integrity, decency, kindness, creating inner and outer peace. One of the best ways to explain this particular box up here, integrity and decency, is to actually use an example. Let's use an example of a social get-together where everybody is expected to bring drinks. What do wealthy people do? What do rich people do? And what do poor people do in terms of bringing, say, a bottle of wine to this particular event? Now, why do I talk about wealthy, rich, and poor? What's that about? Before you answer that question, wealthy think long-term, rich think short-term, and poor think now. It's got nothing to do with how much money you have. So now we've got a clear definition on this particular thing. What do wealthy, rich, and poor people do? Please let me know in the comments section. So we're seeking to understand what integrity and decency really is. And we know that there are three basic types of thinking: wealthy thinking, rich thinking, and poor thinking. And it's got nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with thinking, and your thinking unknowingly sets your up or down path in life. Few people actually realize this. It's how you think that actually governs how you act. I'll just try and break it down a little bit because we're talking about integrity and decency. Just this box up here. When people think about things, they can think with the sense of integrity. And integrity basically is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Every single person is assessed on their integrity. But what if they don't have integrity? What if they're not honest or not fair? What do we call that? We just say that's a lack of integrity. So integrity is one thing, and the lack of that is a lack of integrity. That's doing the wrong thing, being dishonest, being divided, or being unfair. There's a reason people think this way, and this is the critical thing to understand. Wealthy people always think long term. They're in it for the long run. And remember, this has nothing to do with money. People can be poor but have wealthy thinking. People can be very, very rich, have a lot of money, but have poor thinking. And that's exactly what Edwin was talking about. The quote that Edwin put out, there are people so poor that the only thing they have is money. And these are not rich people. They are not wealthy people. They're poor people with money. So what causes a lack of integrity, a lack of long-term thinking? It's scarcity. People, when they feel like things are scarce, when they think they have to compete, and we don't have to compete, we just have to have integrity and decency, and life will just open up to us. When people think from a now perspective or short-term thinking, that can drive dishonesty. If you think about scammers, scammers have the absolute greatest lack of integrity. They deliberately steal from other people. This is simply now thinking. That's poverty thinking. All our thinking has consequences. If we think now or we think short term, if we think long term, whatever our thinking is has consequences. Those consequences can be positive or negative. If we think with integrity, if we are always fair, we're honest, we're upfront about things. It's important to know that our thinking drives our actions. If we act with integrity, we will be by default decent because we're thinking in the right way. Of course, there's many levels below thinking, and that can be beliefs. That can be so many different things. And we talk about all of that inside the masterclass in the Real Wealth section. But the concept is that when we think with integrity, our actions are by definition decent. They're fair, they're appropriate, they're acceptable, they're responsible. The truth is that they're long-term. If we go from a position of thinking about scarcity, we're acting in the now, or short-term, and believing that we have to go out and grab whatever we can because it won't last, we can act indecently. We can be inappropriate, unacceptable to others, or irresponsible. And we know that there's consequences for whatever we do in this world. That's why we talk about maintaining a positive excellence life trend. Everybody has a life trend, but is it a positive life trend? Is it a life trend where you focus on excellence, or is it just a life trend that wanders all over the place? When we talk about crypto technical analysis, a very big part of becoming a crypto technical analyst is actually having a positive excellence life trend. This is not an optional thing. It's really important. We are dealing with money, but we're also dealing with other people. We put our charts out into the public, and we must have integrity and decency when we do so. Let's come back to our example. What we see here are 6 people. We can divide those people, at least conceptually, into now thinkers, short-term thinkers, and long-term thinkers. And we can understand just by the person's actions if they have integrity and decency. And we know that integrity and decency is linked. One very important thing that we find out as we go through our voyage in life, and it does take a lot of time to do, is that inner peace and outer peace are incredibly important. If people do not act with integrity, if they do not act with decency, if they do not act with kindness, will they have inner peace and outer peace? Please let me know in the comments. This is really a very, very important thing to discuss. There is only one path towards wealth. That is long-term thinking. Integrity, decency, kindness, they're not optional if you want to create wealth. And wealth is intergenerational by nature. And it's not only money, it's the good feelings that go along with being secure and having really, really good relationships around you. You can see that if people have now thinking or short-term thinking, they're not going to have inner and outer peace. Whatever they make will be lost, and they'll go up and down financially. This is unfortunately just one of those hidden rules in life. That's why when I talk about real wealth and maintaining a positive excellence life trend, I put money all the way down in the bottom right-hand corner. It is absolutely the most trivial aspect of real wealth. A lot of people have this backwards, and they make money basically the thing that they idolize. This is a crazy thing to do. Money is always the outcome of success. It follows success. It never leads success. I talk a lot about KS zone analysis, and these are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. In zone 1 and zone 2, people focus only on the money. This is a crazy thing to do. Money is the outcome of applying skill into the market. You can't just go into a market and make money. That's just gambling if you don't have the skill. It's actually the truth that your mindset will dictate your profitability. Getting entries and exits is not the issue. It's about how you approach the market, the rules that you have. Is your thinking correct? If you don't understand the rules of the market, you cannot be consistent. And real wealth is all about mastering fear and that feeling that everything is scarce. In truth, nature is absolutely abundant, and this world wants you to succeed, but it will not allow you to succeed unless you have integrity and decency. So hopefully you can see just how important these 2 little terms are, integrity and decency. They're critically important. There's a lot of people inside the crypto space that don't have those commodities, and that is very, very concerning because they act from a short-term or a now perspective, and they mislead people. Please be aware. Have an integrity and decency and kindness radar up when you're dealing with other people, and always look towards what is fair. Thank you so much, Edwin, for posting this on Twitter. It's really, really exceptional. Edwin is an ambassador, so please reach out to him. All our ambassadors are fantastic people. They're always there to answer questions, and they're really great people as well. A couple of days ago, a community member shared this particular chart with me. Basically, they got into Phantom and they held their position for 8 days and made 16.2%. And they did really, really well. It's just fantastic. I love seeing people succeed. One really good thing about this particular thing, this example that I want to bring to your attention, it just really depends how much money you put in. This particular community member, this masterclass community member, put about 9,130 in, and he got a $1,549 return within 8 days. That is slightly better than bank interest. Just like the 10-5-10 rule and making volatility your best friend, when you look for a 10% gain, you don't have to get 16%, but when you look for a 10% gain and you can keep on compounding that gain over, for example, I have a week here, and we do this all the time within the community and the masterclass. People can get lucky if they're in zone 1 and zone 2 to make these percentage returns, but long term it's impossible without knowledge, rules, patience, that real wealth abundance focus. That is incredibly important. Without that abundance focus, you will get shaken out of your positions all the time. And you can see just how 10% a week can actually add up to a lot in terms of a year. We're not actually saying that we want to go for 10% a week. What it's all about is just showing you how small percentages can add up, how they can grow your wealth. It's like the 10-5-10 fund. We don't say you should only buy at 50% off and only sell when it regains its 100%. People can certainly do that if they wish, but that's not what the concept is about. There are a wide range of rules and a lot of knowledge that you need to pick up in order to trade and invest crypto profitably. The first thing that you need to do is to be able to mark up your charts. That's in the foundation section. You need to look externally to crypto, check world events, collect probabilities, kind of be a detective. And we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So it's not about being an investor or being a trader. It's about doing both really, really well. Then we look inside the crypto market, knowing opportunities reset daily, enhancing our pattern recognition, finding the market's focus, and there are very specific ways to do that. Of course, without our integrity and decency, positive excellence life trend, what is the point of money? You may think, well, Ken, I don't have much at the moment, so it really means so much to me. And I certainly understand that. One of the things that you will find is that when you get money, and it's just the outcome of a successful application of rules, it's the person that you become that is the most important thing to question before you embark on something specific. For example, investing or trading. I really love days like today when the market is doing quite well, and it's been doing quite well for a few days, because I get to the opportunity of actually sharing with you the most important thing, which is absolutely how you feel about life. You can have millions and millions of dollars but feel absolutely empty inside. In fact, there are many people throughout history who have felt that way, and it doesn't end well for them. And you can have very little and you can feel really comfortable and happy with your life. It's not about money, it's about how we think. Crypto technical analysts are professionals, and you can't be professional without emotional control. That's what Rule 734 is all about. Master emotional control and being professional. I'd like to tell people that the CTKS, or the Crypto Trading Masterclass, has a masterclass within the masterclass, and that's what many people have pointed out. This real wealth section is literally a masterclass within a masterclass. It's all about how to live a really beautiful and meaningful life. And when it comes to money, all you do is scale. So for example, this particular masterclass member put about $9,000 in, but you could have put $90 in, or 100, or 500, or 100,000, or it doesn't matter what you put in. What you actually see, scaling gets you the results that you want. You have to have the knowledge though, and I always suggest you start small, get your knowledge correct, and then build up. There is no rush. Let's have a quick look at how Bitcoin is going. What we can see is Bitcoin is coming up to some fairly substantial resistance, and it's been doing quite well. It's definitely gone against all the shorting in the market. And what do we see when we overlay the NASDAQ 100? We can see the NASDAQ 100 is coming up, and we can see it's looking quite good. We're seeing also positive momentum inside the market. Now, a lot of people are getting really, really certain at this stage. And what do we know about certainty? What do we see with the shorts coming in? The shorts are starting to level out. They may start to come back into the market. And we can notice the longs have been coming in. They got a little bit shaken out here, but they're making an upward trajectory. And just be aware that we're coming into weekend trading. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. We can see that as we're getting higher prices in Bitcoin, the fear is starting to come out of the market, and that's giving confidence to the open interest. We can see that is increasing as well. Liquidations over the past 24 hours have been quite low. We've seen 140.42 million across 38,753 positions. And in the past 24 hours, about 63% of liquidations have been short liquidations. And we can see that by looking through this particular chart. We're getting more shorts getting liquidated than longs currently. One thing that's been really helpful to the community is max pain analysis. And Rec, thank you for your comment. What I've been doing is just giving you an understanding how max pain actually changes around. Max pain theory is the concept that whatever the max pain level is, I'll just show you that in the options. So here are the Bitcoin options expiring at the end of April. Max pain price is 40,000. This is the point at which the majority of the options expire worthless and cause the maximum amount of pain to option holders. You can see for April, there's a lot of interest at the $50,000, $60,000 level, even up to the $100,000 level. The concept here is that people say, oh, this max pain price, that is the price of Bitcoin at that particular month. I can only say, no, it's not. Don't get sucked into it. Having been in the financial markets for decades, over 30 years, I can say max pain and the crypto market, they kind of don't get along. But I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. These were the max pain levels from yesterday. I'll show you how they actually turn around. So we can see yesterday the max pain price for March the 25th was 41. It's now 42. So we need to move this little guy up 1,000. Let me do that. Magic. There you go. Now we've had March 26th be inserted here, and whoa, it's 43. So let's move this little guy up to reflect that. Magic again. Whoa, it's above. Hang on a second. Shouldn't that little guy be down at 41? It's following price. Oh, naughty thing. What about April the 1st? 40,000. Now before we get into that, we actually have to move all of these little guys up as well. Just up to here. Okay, we've done that, and we see April 1st is at that $40,000 level. Look how much it changed. This is just within one day. We can see this thing going all over the place. What actually happens is that option holders change their positions dynamically. So max pain also changes dynamically. It's not fixed, and you can see that it moves around. I'm going to continue doing this kind of analysis because I think it's really, really helpful to people inside our community. A lot of people say that max pain theory dictates that the max pain will attract the price. Hopefully I'm showing you it's absolutely the other way around. Be careful of what people say. I love giving you different forms of analysis. So when we go onto Google Trends and search crypto, what are we seeing here? Interest in crypto is very low, but it's starting to kick up. It's starting to pass resistance. What do we see with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is really, really low. It's amongst the lowest readings in in 12 months. And hello, El Salvador is number one. Of course it is. Interesting to see that Ethereum is following the same kind of loss of interest in the market. And look, Kosovo is number one. Kosovo for number one. When we look at total value locked within DeFi, it's nearly $200 billion. Way to go, DeFi. And we can see that we've crossed over a resistance level. We have a support level underneath as well. Price is always moving in a wave. That's the most important rule you must keep in your mind all the time. Price moves in waves. Rule 4. The crypto market is looking really good. If we look at Bitcoin, it's above its resistance level. It's consolidating just above a horizontal resistance. We may get a wave down here, and that would be perfectly fair and reasonable. But remember, crypto is really volatile, so be aware of all three conditions. That is, make in advance probabilistic choices. What will you do if price goes down, goes up, or goes sideways? This is the mark of a professional investor and trader. And we've left Borsog the eagle in here for a reason, just to remind you, buy on red, sell on green. Good old Borsog. Okay, what else are we seeing? Binance Coin starting to get over its resistance. Nice. Look at XRP, beautiful upward support coming into resistance. What do we expect? The potential is, well, it could go one of two ways. It could make a forge to this literally about $1 mark. It could hit there, or it could actually retrace because price always moves in a wave. Let's have a look at Cardano, ADA. ADA's doing really, really well. It's come up to a level of resistance and starting to wave down. One thing that separates retail from professional, professionals always leave something on the table. They don't seek to buy at the bottom and they don't seek to sell at the top. They seek to ride a particular segment of price action. This is really important to understand. If you're kind of upset with yourself, if you say, oh, it went more, it went 2% more, or 5%, or 10%, or whatever it is, please don't think that way. If you're applying the rules and you're doing technically sound trades and investments, you've done all that you could do. And it's really important not to criticize yourself, because criticism, blame, shuts down learning. And always the markets reset every day. Opportunities are just abounding everywhere. Solana, Sol coming into a level of resistance as well. We're seeing AVAX seeking to get above this resistance at around 96.92, but it has a lower level of resistance around the 89.97. What we do is that we look at Bitcoin's price action. If Bitcoin comes down, 99% of the alts will move in that direction, but with different percentage movements. It's really interesting to see Luna's particular price action. It's consolidating just below a previous all-time high. It may be seeking to take a run at this. It could go either way. Be a little bit careful, but be mindful. It could actually breach this resistance and enter price discovery, or fail and fall down to a lower level. There's some really interesting trades out there at the moment. So let's have a look at Sand. Sand is entering a field of resistance. Be aware of that. There's going to be sellers on top of that, pushing that price down. Gala has been building up to this resistance. This is actually a much better technical pattern than what we see in Sand. Phantom is still hovering around that resistance at the current price. And look at Axie Infinity. It's just done what Axie does. It just blows up. And this is the thing with crypto. When you get into crypto trading and investing, many times people just want to apply stock market methodologies, and that would mean you wait for certain things to happen. But by the time you've waited, it's taken off. And by the time you get in, you're actually probably entering a position that you shouldn't be entering. This is why the CTKS method is all about getting into trades before they do stuff like this. Okay, let's look at AR. Masterclass students, you will be looking at this line and scratching your head and saying, Ken, what color is that? That is pink for the public channel. We can see Arweave just doing a consolidation move, just very much like Phantom. This quite a nice thing to see that, but there are a lot of sellers here. We have to pay attention to what Bitcoin could do. That will give us some indication. And always remember your rules. You can always buy lower. And we can see DOT is doing quite well. Notice the similar consistency across these different charts, your pattern recognition. They're all coming up to similar resistance levels. Let's have a look at Rose. Rose is coming up to a consistent level as well. This is a resistance level. It's looking quite good. It definitely has a very nice path, but also pay attention to the fact that everything goes up and down. Even within Rose, we're seeing some up and down action. Let me zoom in there and show you. Just zooming into that particular price action, that's about 12%. That one is about 10% odd. It's always moving in a wave. Even on an uptrend, you can actually get in and you can lay your trades as you go up as well. And many people have done really well with Loopring. I'm so happy when I see people doing well. That is what it's all about. A community member reached out and said, Ken, how do you deal with losses? The first key is to make sure that you're picking a crypto that has strength and that you know and understand the personality, because you've marked up the chart. You know its long-term prospects are fairly robust. Then you always buy on red, which means you always buy as the price is going down. We do not buy on green because that absolutely destroys the percentage gain that could be in your favor and turns it to your detriment. So we always start at a loss. That is actually how we do things. And sometimes, as we've seen, the market will absolutely turn against you. Use that to actually accumulate more, especially at capitulation points. And then the next phase is as you're lowering your average buy-in price. When price rebounds, like we've seen in Loopring, and we'll see across the entire crypto market as time progresses too, because we've been in a downtrend for months and months and months and months. The concept is that you only need certain spikes. Look at Axie. That's a really good indication of how something can spike. Let me do the percent on that. There you go. If we just basically look at this particular price action, I'll just make that a bit easier to see. That's better. From around this bottom, for example, that's about 4 days, 8 hours. It's come up nearly 50%. This is what crypto does. Crypto is always exploding like this. You don't see anything like this in the stock market. This is normal for crypto. It does, of course, happen in the stock market, but it's more rare. In crypto, it's just another day. Therefore, a critical question for your consideration, and please let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Bitcoin is going to surpass this previous resistance level at around the 44,300 mark? Or do you expect that Bitcoin could come down to a support level, probably around the 42,200 mark? Or do you think it's going to fall through that and go to about 40,785? So are you expecting a bullish, a bearish, or a very bearish price action movement? Please let me know in the comments. The best way that you can use to avoid scammers is to just go into the description of this video. I've left a lot of links in here that can help you out, and you can reach across and direct message me on Twitter through this particular link. I also have some tax software that I use to actually do my trades. That is the best tax software that is out there, and I've pretty much checked them all. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the difference between wealthy thinking, rich thinking, and poor thinking. And the key is it has nothing to do with how much money or the lack of money that someone has. And thank you again to Edwin for sharing what you shared. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you here. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and being part of our global KS family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and also the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please use the links to seek out an ambassador to get 80% off. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenario. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time.